Welcome to Grace Over Grit and Growth, the podcast where we empower women to be who they are gracefully while being unapologetic.
Well, hello, I am Monique Fisher,
I'm Alita Anderson.
and welcome to Grace Over Grit and Growth.
Yes.
And today we're going to talk about faith, financing, and a fresh start. Okay. So we want to talk about how to approach financing without fear, shame, or being overwhelmed. Because budgeting is not about restriction. Okay. It's about aligning your money with your goals. And so today we have with us Reshawn Howard.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
And we're going to let her tell you a little bit about herself and her budgeting expertise.
All right. Well, thank you both for having me as a guest on your show today. I'm excited to be here. A little bit about myself. Finance is my passion. I've been in the industry for over 25 years. I'm currently the budget director for local government in the county that I live in. I'm so excited to talk about budgeting and how to manage your finances because what I do in my spare time is teach people about financial literacy and how to do just that.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons we wanted to bring you on because I feel like the topic of financing and just budgeting in general can be a little scary, especially for people who feel like I've never really done a budget per se. So is it too late or how do I do it or it's too intense? But you don't realize it doesn't have to be, a whole QuickBooks, everything else. Right. But it just like you said, is to know where your money's coming in, where is it going, and just have a plan.
Right. I think people get scared because they don't know where to start.
Yes.
And the first thing that you should do is start somewhere. So if it's just taking a pen and paper and just writing down how much income do I have coming in, writing down your monthly expenses, looking at your bank account. Some people don't even do that. Can you believe that?
No.
Looking at how much is actually being deposited into your bank account and how much is being taken out of your bank account if you have anything on automatic withdrawal. And
yes.
we all know that subscriptions are the thief of all time in our bank accounts.
Yes.
So we should make sure that we know what's coming in and what's going out. But I think just starting somewhere and not being afraid to handle your finances is a great start.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think that the unknown is what's scary, not the budgeting. It's the unknown. I remember 2 years ago, we were at this particular place I worked, and one of my coworkers was like, "Oh my gosh, did you get a bump in your paycheck?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" No. And she was like, "I got 2 paychecks." And I said, "Well, what happened?" So come to find out, what had happened is that there was some deduction that had been taken out of her account for 9 months. It was a deduction she never even noticed, and they realized that the payroll department had made an error, and then they cut her a check to reimburse her. But it was like, I want to say it was like I think it was $125. So it wasn't like $12. How you didn't know that? And she was like, "Well, I mean, I just never paid attention." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know my check is supposed to be X, Y, and Z."
Right.
How did you not miss it? But like you said, not looking at that, not anticipating that my direct deposit should be this every week, 2 weeks, or whatever it is. When you don't know what you could be missing.
Exactly. And I think that people who don't pay attention, they don't realize how much money they're either losing or leaving on the table. And that's a clear example of not having a plan for your money. You should always know where every dollar is going. So even if you start with a budget small, just taking, for instance, your household expenses, rent or mortgage, having a budget for that. Then also, we could call it your 4 walls. So that would be your mortgage or rent, food, clothing, transportation. Those are your four walls, making sure you have those things, the basic things covered start with the budget for that. Everything is technology nowadays, so there's different budget apps that you can start out with. There is Mint. There's also Every Dollar. Those are apps that you can get started with creating a budget for your finances, and then just build upon that. If you know you like to eat out several times a week, set a budget for it. Whether it's $20, $25 for the week, so that you can begin to see, have a plan for your money. You can budget. When you budget and have a plan for your money, then you begin to see that money staying in your bank account, and you're not just spending or swiping your debit card.
Yeah. And I'm embarrassed to say, so I have a real estate business, my personal business. I didn't realize how many subscriptions I had until my card expired.
Wow.
And then they was like, okay, you didn't pay for this or you didn't pay for it. And I'm like, what am I getting that for? And when did I do that?
Mm-hmm.
So when you say that's a thief of money, getting all these different subscriptions, that is so true.
Absolutely.
And you have to really be conscious of that. And we just online and we just click.
Yeah. And you know what they get you? Well, I know a lot of times they'll be like, oh, for 13 days, it's free. And you're like, oh, I'm going to try it out. And then I've done that now. Like if I really am trying out stuff, I set, like, say if it's 13 days, at day 10, I set a reminder in my phone, like, go cancel, blah, blah, blah. And I put the link right there. So on my calendar, when it pops up, I'll just click it and cancel it. If it's something I've decided, I'm not going to utilize. And I'm like, if I haven't looked at it within that time frame, then no, because it's going to be, like you said, on that evolution. They just keep charging me and I'm not even paying attention to it.
I do that with my Stars and my HBO because I only have it for a little while. And then when they say that the thing is expired, like if you get a free trial for 7 days, I set it for 5. I'm like, whatever y'all want to see on Stars, you see for 5 days because I'm cutting it off.
Well, that's good that you do that, but the companies strategize on people forgetting.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how they make their money, because they know 7 days is going to go by quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Most people get busy with day-to-day lives, and they're going to forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so after that 7th day, on day 8, you can best believe that you're getting charged for that. So subscriptions are a huge
that's like the gym. That's like the model for gyms of how they make the money. Like subscription, like everybody's gonna do it. I'm like, no, not so much.
Right.
Not so much. But I figured out to set the reminder after being charged. Like, why am I paying for all this stuff? Or we also found that not Netflix, it was something else. Can't remember which app it was. But like 3 of us in the family had it. Like, why do we all have a subscription to the same thing? Like, what is that about?
Right.
So
like Hulu or something like that.
Yeah, I'm like, no, that makes no sense. So yeah, those will definitely get you. And I think too, just the low price. So if it was something that you had to think of right then, like if you had to pay, I mean, it's not excessive, but if you had to pay the $39 or $49 right then and there, would you really subscribe then? Or like,
I think people would think twice about that. But that $10.99 or $9.99 or even $7.99.
Right. It's like, exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, as I did a little research, it was interesting to find that budget. So 74 to 86% of people actually have budgets, but less than 25% of people actually stick to the budget. So it's not that they haven't thought about it. It's just like, okay, set it and forget it. And I think that's a part that people do too. It's like you do it, but then do you, like you said, set the time aside to actually check in to see where you are.
Right. And I think that is a very important thing. That's a good percentage that people who have budgets. And sometimes people set it and forget it, or they get discouraged because they may have blown through the budget already. Let's say you're halfway through the year and you've already blown through your budget. So you've gotten discouraged and given up, and it's like, I'm just going to put that to the side. It's not working anyway. But I think get back on the wheel and keep going, keep that momentum going. And just know that every day may not be a perfect day, but at least you have the plan. And the more you keep working the plan and working the budget, you'll get better at it, and
Yeah.
you'll begin to see those results come to fruition.
Yeah. Yep. It's like the diet.
Yep.
Just because you had the cookie don't mean
that it's
now I have a
all
cookie
over.
to cake and the,
Yes.
and the candy.
I'm
Like,
guilty of that.
yeah. Like, come
Hey,
on now.
Preaching to the choir. I'm like, well,
You
I
got-
get that. Let's
Might as
move on.
well.
Yes.
Yeah. Might as well just
For
keep
today.
going.
For today.
Yes. I think give yourself some grace.
Definitely.
That's what this is about.
Yeah. Give yourself some grace and stick to the plan, because in the long run, it will be worth it in the end.
Yeah. And I think too, with looking at things, I know for me, I'm still a pen, like you mentioned the apps, but I'm still like a pen and paper person. So one of the things I'll take a look at is, like you mentioned, like the credit cards and the bank statements of highlighting, like,
Mhm.
okay, yellow is going to be restaurant, this, and I'll be like, okay, and now the bank, my account does it for you. So
Yeah,
you can
it
just
does.
set it
It
up. So
breaks it
now
all
you break it
down.
down so
Yeah.
you can see that.
Mhm.
So I think another thing is that people think of budgets, they think of denial. Like, okay, well, if I was, I'm not going to be able to do anything. I'm not going to be able to get my hair done, go out to eat, or do anything. I'm just going to sit in the house. So it's like, well, that's depressing. So who wants to do that?
Right.
But I think it helps you decide what to do, because although there's some frivolous spending, like let's say going out to eat, but if I was going to do this or that, which one would I actually rather enjoy? But if I don't know where I'm spending or what money's coming in, I can't make those
You can't make
decisions.
that
So it helps you make
determination.
more informed decisions too.
Right. Budgets can be scary because people think that it's going to cut out something, that they enjoy doing. However, you can still plan for the entertainment that you want to do. You can still have fun. You can still, I like to get my hair done, and I get my hair done every 2 weeks. So I have that in my budget plan.
Mhm.
I know how much it's going to cost every 2 weeks. So I have that in my budget plan. If I want to go to, I know several times a year, I like to do something fun. So I have that budgeted in my budget plan. Gifts, if you
Oh,
know
that's
that you're
good.
going to buy people gifts, you want to plan for that, because I think what catches us off guard is those things that we know we're going to do, but we don't plan for.
Yeah.
And then we categorize them as unexpected. So you can plan and budget everything. It doesn't mean that you have to cut anything out.
Yep.
And so that brings us to the holiday of Christmas.
Christmas.
Right. So, we did do something called Holiday Frenzy, where we talked about don't try to buy everything for everybody.
Mhm.
Make it more centered around games and family or doing something fun. So it's interesting that you say you're supposed to budget for gifts too.
Mhm.
It's something that you just don't
But
naturally, I don't
you
think
don't,
of. Even
but-
birthday time and
Yes.
Yes.
and
Right. Yes.
things like that for kids and other people, and
Mhm.
celebrating, family members' graduation.
Yes.
Mhm.
I never really thought about budgeting for those things.
Yeah. So if Christmas is a great segue, the holiday time is especially Christmas is the biggest time that people get into a lot of credit card debt,
Mhm.
because they want to buy gifts for everyone. My advice would be, especially for those, as you mentioned, do a grab bag gift.
Yeah.
Do games, invite people over, and family over, play games, have
Yes.
food. You don't always have to do a gift. Make it a simple gift. Go to Five Below.
Mhm.
They have inexpensive gifts, some pretty good gifts that you can buy. And the most important thing about Christmas is spending time with family and making great memories,
Yes.
and remembering the reason for the season,
Mhm.
and which is not always about gifts. And if you have children, that you're buying gifts for, have them make a list and put 3 things on that list, and pick, maybe their top item on that list. You don't have to get everything on the list, but for kids, just having that one big gift will make all the difference for them. But I think this time of year is that holiday frenzy, and people are in that Christmas cheer. They want to go out. They want to, buy gifts for everyone, but that's not necessary. Now, I'm not going to say don't do it if, you have the means to do that and you budget it and it's in your plan. By any means, do it. But I think just being mindful and not overextending yourself during the holiday season, when you may not have it, find other alternatives to make Christmas fun.
Because if you think about it, half the time, if you say, "What did you get for Christmas last year?" or those toys, whatever. Now, I don't even think you need to wait till next Christmas. You could probably do the end of January or February and be like, "Where's that?" Oh, I don't know. Like, it doesn't matter. But like talking about if it's a trip or if it's a family, everybody getting together, play games. Those are the things that those memories are what's priceless, not necessarily the things.
Yes.
I've seen kids open up gifts and play with the box, and you like, I know I just did.
Yes. You're like, wait a minute.
Like, wait a minute.
We did.
Is that all I had to do?
Yes.
Yes.
And I can just share that when my daughter was growing up, I used to, buy all the gifts. And then I had to think about it for a minute. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not buying all these gifts. Write down 3 things that you want, because what you said, they'll play for that for a while and then it's in the closet, or they don't even know where it is, or they lost interest in it. I'm like, write your 3 things down and then I'll get, a couple of items on your list. And what I do for, coworkers or family, we do a grab bag. And that way we set a dollar amount as well. So that way you're not overspending, for the gift that you're going to buy.
Yes, that's what we've done. A couple different things. I have a group of girlfriends, and we do favorite things. We changed it up this year, but we typically do a favorite thing. So if it's 5 of us, so throughout the year, I'll be like, oh my gosh, like one year it was a towel warmer. Like I got this towel warmer, and I was like, look, you put pajamas in there and put my. I was like, I love this thing. So I was like, okay, I waited for it to go on sale, and I bought 5 of them. So at Christmas, everybody got those. So it's like the thing that you get through the year that you're like, oh, I want to share with everybody. You just buy it that many times, so exchange it. So you get really cool stuff that you may not have thought of. And we keep it, like you said, within we know what our price range is. So you do it throughout the year, which is help instead of being out there like, okay, what can I get? And then like, what do I need? As you're thinking about it throughout the year, it helps you be like, and it makes it more fun. Like, oh, this is gonna be great. Get it and put it up. But it can get stressful if you allow it to be.
Yes.
We've done cookie exchanges. Like for a while, like the kids were in activities. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting the teachers' gifts, the coaches' gifts. I'm like, we're about to do cookies. So we pick a Saturday and like we baking cookies. We put them on the boxes, put our names. We got a list of people. Everybody getting a dozen cookies. Here we go. And people were like, and I stopped doing it probably 2, maybe 3 years ago. I don't know what, something happened that year. And I was like, I'm not doing this year. People was like, where are the cookies? So I was like, so it was stuff like that.
But that's a homemade gift.
Yeah.
And that tends to mean more to people than
and
all
that
of these
surprised
other
me.
things.
But I mean, it was time involved. But if people really did miss those.
Yeah. And I think people appreciate the small things.
Yeah.
They do. They do.
Yeah. And then one of the things, you'll start seeing the memes on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever else for January. Because after December comes January. Yes. And what people tend to see is that they'll talk about landlords, that January is the highest eviction rate. And is it because people have overspent at Christmas?
Yes.
So what you're saying is if you have saved for Christmas and you're going to go all out, cool. But then don't do it in lieu of doing your regular responsibilities.
Right. What you call the essential needs.
Yes.
The 4 walls. You have to keep that. I love that. Yeah.
And we talk about something similar when we sit down with people that are talking about purchasing a home. And even sometimes selling their home. Because we'll go through, what is it, like, what's your end goal? Right now I'm paying $2,000 in rent. Okay, so I want to keep it around that same amount. So when people get pre-approved, they'll go to the mortgage broker, the bank, whoever, they'll pre-approve them and say, they'll look at their finances and say, this is how much money you make, this is how much debt you have. Okay, based on this, you qualify for X. So let's say it's $400,000. But the question is not how much money I can get. That doesn't mean you have to buy a $400,000 home. I always tell my clients, and so does Monique, what do you want your payment to be? What's comfortable for you? And then you go on that number, when we figure that out, that might be 300.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want that, okay, so then we're going to look at homes in this price point, because although we love when you buy homes with us and work with you, we don't want you being at home stuck in that house mad at us because all you're doing is sit in your house because you can't do anything else.
Right,
Yes.
right.
So what else? Like if you like to take vacations, what's that number that's comfortable? But again, if you don't know or have no clue what your finances are, you won't know what's comfortable for you either.
Right.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what we talked about at the beginning, of the podcast, is knowing what your numbers are,
Mhm.
assessing your finances, and being comfortable with what you can afford.
Yes.
And not overextending yourself. As you mentioned, if you're approved for $400,000, that doesn't mean you go and buy a $400,000 house. You want to stay within a range that is comfortable for you, and also that will be comfortable for the lifestyle that you want to live, so that you can do those things like travel, take a vacation, or anything else that you may want to do. So putting a plan together for purchasing a home, your plan may have to start a year before you actually go and buy a home.
Yes.
Because you want to assess where you are, and how much you can afford, and what your budget is going to be. Then you also want to make sure that your credit is in good standing, and it's at the required amount, to get approved by a lender, and that you have saved up, or if you're saving up for your down payment, that you have enough saved up for your down payment.
Right.
Also, closing costs. There's so much that goes into purchasing a home. And then after you purchase the home, you may want to buy a few things to go into that home.
Yes.
So there's a lot that plays a part into purchasing a home. So before you do that, you want to make sure you have all your ducks lined up in a row, and that may take some time. And if you're already there, great. But I think that is the most important thing when you're looking at purchasing a home.
Definitely.
Let me ask you a question. So lenders evidently, they use some type of formula, right, to figure out what you can afford. So is there a rule of thumb about what percentage of your mortgage or rent should be based on your income?
So the rule is at least 30%.
Okay.
Of your income. And what most lenders look at is your debt to income ratio. And so you want to make sure before you purchase a home that, you begin to eliminate debt if you have a lot of debt. So that when lenders are looking at your credit, you're within that percentage range.
Okay.
So now you have heard it from Reshawn, the budget expert. You heard it from Monique and I. We don't say it as nicely. We tell you, don't go buying stuff. Like you're trying to buy a house. You cannot buy other things. That increases your debt to income ratio. So people are like, oh, but I got approved. No, you still have to get approved. Remember the snapshot. They take a snapshot of where your credit is, where your debt to income ratio is. And then we get ready to get to closing. Guess what? They go back and they look at this snapshot and they're like, okay, is everything the same? Oh, wait, it's not. And if it's not, meaning that your debt income to ratio has gone up, there's a chance that they're now going to say no to you. It's not just because you get a pre-approval letter, you're good to go. It has to maintain that. Don't stop paying your bills. Don't start incurring new debt. You have to stick with the plan. And that's another reason that we do like to sit down with people, because you just don't know. And those are the types of things we've seen on a regular basis. So we can share that with you so you don't fall into those traps, and so that you know what you're doing going forward. And I've had people that have come in and even they've gotten a pre-approval, but the lender has said, but you know what, if you pay off this, this, and this, you get a much better interest rate. So I would do this and come back. Right. Because over 30 years, that can make it a substantial difference.
Absolutely. And lenders, they want, to put you in a home
Mhm.
and to give you that loan. So they're going to give you some advice on things that you can do
Mhm.
to help you, like you said, Alita, get that better interest rate. They'll also, give you tips on, what you can do to reduce your debt as well.
Right.
But Alita, you made some great points as to just because you got the pre-approval from the lender doesn't mean that you can, okay, now continue to spend. You have to wait until the closing, the purchase has closed. Then I would not advise you to go spend, because remember, you still got to live in the home and pay for the home. So still be responsible and be mindful about, spending after you get into the home.
Yeah.
And I know I'm old school, but I say Rome wasn't built in a day. So you can take your time. If you have to decorate or whatever, room by room, it's okay. You're going to be in the house for 30 years or
Mhm.
whatever amount of time if you upgrade later.
Yes.
But you take your time to do that. You don't try to go in. And I think in our culture, we try to impress people so much. Well, I'm impressed that you were able to get the house. You don't
Yes.
have to try to lay it out, deck it out to the nines because you now have this house. So you have to take your time and do this. And that's what Alita and I counsel you on too. We don't want you to be house poor.
No.
We don't want you to overextend yourselves. So you have to take your time.
And it's funny because as we have those conversations, I know I've experienced it where people got a little like, oh, you just don't want me to have a house.
Yes.
You don't want me to, and I'm like, no, like I do want you to have a house and I do want you to flourish and do well, but also I want you to make a decision that you're not going to regret, because this is probably the most amount of money that you're going to spend on something
In your
life.
Yeah.
So don't take it lightly. And like you said, it's impressive that you're able to get into the house because that's an asset. So a little different than renting, because once you get in, you do have time to build. And as you're building equity. Your house is accumulating. So it's an asset that's working in your favor. And I think that's something else, like we were talking about, Rome wasn't built in a day, that if you're getting into a home, it doesn't have to be your forever home, but it can be your vehicle to get you to your forever home.
Right.
Because when you're renting, you're not building equity. So let's say you say, I'm going to rent for 2 years or 3 years or whatever. All that money is really just out the window, where if you have that into your home and you decide to do something, you could sell your home.
Mhm.
If you needed to do like a home equity or anything like that, to pull some of the equity out to do something, it's a vehicle for you to build wealth and for you to be able to grow and do different things. But that doesn't mean it's going to be the house on the hilltop the very first time.
Right.
And that's okay. But starting is, like we're talking about with budgeting, of just starting is so important. And I know I've had people come to me working for a year, 6 months until they get their stuff together. That doesn't bother me. So I don't want people to be like, I'm not ready just yet. I do want to sit down with you and have a consultation so we can talk about, and I can get you in front of some people that would be able to help you to create the budgets, to work on your credit, to get the better, so that you are in a better situation. And sometimes that helps people too, just with income. Like they're like trying to decide if they're going to switch jobs or do something like that. Okay, what's my income need to be for X, Y, and Z? But again, it's all the information. If you don't have that, you're not able to make informed decisions. And that's all that we want to do, is put you in front of the people so that you can have all the information and you can just make the best decisions for you.
So, Reshawn, one of the things that I was taught was to always pay yourself first.
Mhm.
Kind of. What do you think about that? Just
So that's one of the things that I do teach my clients, is to pay yourself first. We want to make sure that we're not earning money to just pay bills.
Mm-hmm.
We want to pay ourselves first, put that aside, because that becomes a savings, that a little nest egg that you're building up.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever that amount is that you decide, I heard someone say, if pay yourself every month that your birthday falls on. So my birthday falls on the 27th. So every 27th of the month, I'm paying myself first. So whatever dollar amount
Mhm.
I decide to set
Right.
aside, I'm going to, on the 27th of each month, I'm putting that amount aside because guess what? It's my birthday.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, it's very important to pay yourself
And
first.
even if that's $50, I mean, that's $600 in the year.
Yes.
And it can be an emergency fund. And so then when things happen, you're
Yeah.
not freaking out or
Right.
trying to run straight to the credit card.
Yes.
You need to
Right.
build an emergency fund.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
have an emergency fund. I'm also a believer of Dave Ramsey.
Oh,
And Dave Ramsey said, start with an emergency fund of $1,000. And, you know, if $1,000 is too much for you to start out with right away, work your way to 500. Once you build to 500, then get yourself to the 1,000. But once you have that 1,000, then any emergency that comes up, you don't have to go to use your credit card, or you don't have to go to someone else and ask for a loan, or go to your bank or credit union to ask for a loan. And I think having an emergency fund is very important because it helps us decipher between a need and a want.
yes.
That
the point.
impulsive purchase, you know, we'll think about, well, do I really need this? You know, is this something that I just want or have to have? But then that gives us, makes us a little bit more disciplined of setting money aside to save for that rainy day.
Yes. Yep. And I like the rule of if it's a big purchase, not to make it right away. Because I've done it. I see something, I'm like, oh no, I want that. Like I got it. And then I'm like, you know, I'm gonna wait 2 days and come back and get it. And I'm just like, do I really like? No, it's not that. It's like the impulse of it.
Yeah.
It just dies down. So sometimes I still go back and get it. But most of the time, I'm not as interested as I was
Right.
2 days ago.
And if you're debating with yourself, then it's probably
Yes.
more of a want than a
Definitely.
need. And then for some
Yeah.
people, they have buyer's remorse when they
Mhm.
make that big purchase, and they're like,
Yeah.
I should take it back,
Right.
you know, and take it back. I had done a women's conference in November, and I talked about, you know, filling our emptiness with stuff. And I think, you know, especially for women, and I brought out a little mini closet, and I had, you know, some purses, some shoes on there, some very nice coats. And, you know, for us as women, the first thing that we want to go buy is a nice handbag, and it could be an expensive handbag. But I think, you know, thinking about, do I really need this? Is it a want? And not accumulating a lot of things or stuff, because at the end of the day, that stuff doesn't define who we are. So
That's so true.
I think for some people, it's hard to really put money aside to have that mindset. Some people are really good at it and are great savers, but, you know, I would just challenge people to just try it. Set aside, if it's $25, set that aside and watch it grow and how quickly it grows.
And I think that's the part I think when people get excited. Do it like a subscription. Have it taken out and you don't even see it. And then when you check back in, you be like, oh, then you're like, nope, I need to keep doing it. You know, because you get the energy behind it.
And there are high yield savings accounts
Yes.
online that you can.
And right now, you know, I know the Fed just decreased the rate. However, the high yield savings are up 4% for some. So that's really good. And you can put your money in a high yielding savings account and earn some interest that way.
Definitely. We do a birthday club with my family. So it's a lot. It's 19 of us. So we have a birthday club. So whatever day your birthday falls on, everybody sends $50 to that person. So when it's your birthday, it's 19 of us. So you get $1,000. So it's one of those things where you're putting money aside. So you're actually paying. It's the same thing as if you put the money aside and just save $1,000. It just kind of makes it fun because on your birthday you get the money. Then that way you'll know you have that money coming. So if you're planning to just put it in a savings account for something you want to do, you'll have that money coming. But it's like, oh, it's your birthday, so everybody sends person, and it doesn't feel like a big hit because it's $50. but it's a
that's
forced
cool.
thing to
That
say.
is cool.
Yeah, so we do
Yeah.
that one.
See, we getting out there.
Yeah.
About
Let me
that
call
one.
my family.
I know,
See if
that's
they can
right.
be
We
a birthday
said,
club.
yeah, we have. Look, I'll show you the rules.
Yeah,
There's
show us
rules.
the rules.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
rules.
I know it was rules.
Okay.
There's rules.
Y'all need
you
to see the
say.
rules first. Yeah.
But we've done it. Shoot, it's going on.
And
I
this
think
is with
5 years.
cousins and stuff. Or
Yeah,
just,
so it's my family, T's family, parents, aunts, uncles, whoever wants to get
whoever
in.
wants to get
Get in. And then you can every December 1st, if somebody wants to get out, they need to say they want to get out for 2026, for instance. If somebody want to get out by December 1st, you can say I don't want to be in it next year. And then if you want to invite somebody, you can invite them in. The rule is can't be more than three birthdays in a month. So some months are full, a couple months we have 3 birthdays, so then nobody else could join for that month. But let's say if your birthday was in March and March is full, you could choose another month since your actual birthday isn't available.
Okay.
But
you just don't want to extend.
Yeah, we don't want to
$150 a
extend.
month
Yeah.
per person.
Exactly.
That's
So we
a lot.
capped it. Yeah.
So you,
Like for instance, December we have a birthday, the 8th, the 10th, and the 17th. So it's like
Oh,
But
yeah.
but we know that, but it still can be more than 3 in a given month. So
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Wow, that's interesting.
Wow, that is.
So there's unique ways to still, give gifts and have fun and support, still be a family and do things.
Yeah.
Now, Reshawn, what if somebody is watching this and they're like, I need to get my budgeting together? How do they reach out to you?
Yes.
How do you serve people? What's the best way?
So I am online at collectsense.com, or you can reach me by contacting a leader who will give you my phone number.
Mhm.
But I am, as I mentioned earlier, I am passionate about helping people manage their finances, teach them about financial literacy, and just educate them that managing your finances is not scary. Putting together a budget is not scary. We'll take you baby step, one step at a time. But having a plan and starting somewhere is a great start.
It is. And there's no shame in it at all. Reshawn has worked, she's come in and talked to some of our agents in the brokerage, because with us being self-employed and sometimes income is up and down, it's essential that you have that budget to make sure that 1, your taxes get paid, 2, that all the essentials and everything else get paid, and figuring out what your business looks like. So with clients and things like that nature that people need assistance, it's so funny because Reshawn is so passionate about the budgeting piece, but she's also very even keeled. So she's not Monique or I.
No.
So she'll definitely be able to work with you to help you get, where you need to be. If it's something you need, your goal is working towards getting your credit better so that you can get a better interest rate, purchase a home. All those things she can take a look at, help you with budgeting, and figure out and create a plan that works for you. So we highly encourage you to reach out and utilize her services. Sometimes you do need, a lot of things that are automated, but sometimes you just need that personal touch, for somebody to help you get started. And I think you do a wonderful job of paying it forward because you're so knowledgeable and financial and just sharing that with everybody else.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. And then I hope you guys take advantage of it.
And that's you said collect sense?
Collect Sense.
CENTS.
CENTS online.com.
Online. Collect Sense
That's cute.
online.com.
Yes.
Okay, because we want people to go directly there. Somebody's been touched by this. So we can have them
Yes,
reach out
and this
to you
is a
directly.
perfect time because it's
Mhm.
December 2026. It's right around the corner.
Yes.
And what better way to get started, planning your finances now for next year so that you can have a great 2026.
So I know that, and maybe you'll want somebody to get this for you for Christmas. Maybe share this episode with them and say, hey, reach out and get me on this budget plan for next year for me. That would be the perfect gift. So definitely reach out. We thank you for tuning in. You can find us. Where can they find us, Monique?
Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
All right, now
Look
she got
at
it.
me.
She got
now.
it.
It's been long enough. It's about time. So we thank you for watching this episode. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button.
Mhm.
And like Alita said, share this with some people that you know. We know everyone could use a little advice on budgeting.
Definitely.
So thank you. Take care.
All right. Have a wonderful holiday season, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah.